Now let me show you the minority report that America will not talk about. And we've been saying this for weeks now. The United States of America must get its own house in order before it gets particularly concerned about India. The USCIRF report is soaked in hypocrisy. I have some reports for this body which reveal how the situation in America is particularly concerning. Stories that American panels won't tell you. The first one is by the Washington Post. It talks about how African Americans are dying at higher rates due to the coronavirus. Why? Because they have been left at the mercy of America's healthcare system, which has long been shaped by racism. There's disparity in the way they are being treated in comparison to their fellow Americans. They're working jobs that don't pay them if they do not physically show up. There's an assumption that African Americans are immune to the flu and have been left to fend for themselves. They're being forced to work to keep the business going. The result is this. Most mass transit workers who are sick by the hundreds in New York are African Americans. When they show up at hospitals with signs of infection, they have to deal with biased white doctors who do not even refer them for testing. Listen to this.
I say this to America when they talk about marginalized community, there is no such thing as a margin. We're all running away, right, from everything. And every time we run, we push and throttle and drop and stomp on other people. And this is just a perfect example. The test kits are a hot commodity, right? But everyone needs them. Everyone needs access. And as we start talking about healthcare, let's get past this coronavirus and really have a united conversation about what does it mean to be a country that's taking care of their own in the most basic way. It's just healthcare. It's not an issue about the haves versus the have-not. It's basic healthcare.
It is basic healthcare. Guess what? U.S. healthcare officials themselves are dealing with racism. Ethnic discrimination is being experienced by a large proportion of non-white surgical residents. Medical school graduates who are being discriminated against in surgical training. The Northwestern University in Chicago conducted a survey. The findings were published only yesterday. They're worth looking at. 23.7% of the respondents complained of discrimination based on race and religion. The rates were the highest among African Americans at 70.7%. Asians, 45.9%. Hispanic, 25.3%. The discriminatory behavior included biased evaluation of their work, being mistaken for another person of the same race, and hurtful comments from patients and their families. Is this not particularly concerning? Doesn't this violate the USCIRF standards on identity-based discrimination? Would the USCIRF dare to put its own country on such watch lists? If the answer is no, then this body's campaign for international religious freedom is bogus. It has no rights whatsoever to give lessons in secularism to anybody, certainly not to India.